My name is Winthrop, and I'm here to talk about stopping the hate. Okay, I watched a video last night by Dr. David, and he had been a member of the Ku Klux Klan, and he was talking about. Okay, see what I just did there was I said something that may have not been so positive about him, um, which would be something that somebody would use to negate everything that he says that is positive. Okay, and that in itself is hate right there. I'm not really concerned with his involvement in this group or that group. What I was concerned with was what he was saying about preserving the American or preserving white culture. Okay, now there are going to be a lot of differences between people. I mean, there's billions and billions of people. There's lots of different races, cultures, you name it. We've got it. Okay, we in fact here in America we are simply just a melting pot of all different cultures because that is what our country was built on. Okay, it was built on principle of religious freedom. We came over here from our ancestors came over here from the European nations as indentured servants and otherwise as well. And we were given that opportunity to have religious freedom. Now, our sense of democracy is just that. It's a sense, or it's an idea that we have that it's not actually worldwide. Okay, in many other societies, a lot of people have been very oppressed. Okay, and there have been very few people that have been in power. Okay, well now because of the advent of technology and mass communication, we are able to learn things from all these other societies and cultures, and we need to be tolerant of those things. Okay. Now, unfortunately, with that advent of technology and communication, well, you get all the good and all the bad. Okay, it all comes in, and what we need to do is learn how to filter all that stuff. Okay, and unfortunately, there are some people that are not fortunate enough to have the education or the opportunity to know the difference between right and wrong. Okay, for example, like with our media, let's say you're watching a news program and they present the news on a certain topic, and they will present it in a very biased manner. Like sort of emphasizing one direction. And you think, okay, that's the way that it is. But you turn to another news network, and it's a completely different perspective on the exact same topic. Well, how can that be? Well, think about it. Okay, the news is a business. Okay, and they have a hierarchy of individuals there that do things a certain way. Does not mean that news A is going to be the same as news B. Okay, same thing with different companies. Okay, they have different ways of doing things. They're going to be biased one way or another. What you need to do is gain a full, knowledgeable perspective, and make whatever decision you have on that topic based off of that plethora of knowledge that hopefully that you got from it. Okay, so anyway, back to this video. Uh, he was talking about preserving our white culture. Okay, now not once did he sit there and act as a racist, being derogatory towards other cultures. Okay, at all. But then I continued to watch some other videos where there was this man, hating on white people, because of the way that we come across. Now, obviously, I'm white. Okay, I'm very very white. I'm not racist because I'm white. I'm just white. That's all there is to it. Because I'm promoting the white culture does not mean that I'm racist. I'm very tolerant of other cultures. What I'm not tolerant of is other people not being tolerant of other cultures. If that makes sense. Okay. When we talk about stopping the hate, well, we need to look inside ourselves first, okay? Because a lot of hate stems from within us. We are not a perfect species. We are not perfect individuals. We all have faults. We all come from different walks of life where we experience good things and bad things. What we need to do is learn from all of those things, the good experiences, the bad experiences. We need to filter out information, and then we need to make accurate, positive, good decisions that put us in a place where let's just say that we are all part of this bigger puzzle, okay? That God, and I'm only going to use the term God because that's how I was raised. I mean, somebody else may call him something different. Okay, we just have different ways of defining the exact same thing. Okay, it's the same thing with like different types of food that we eat. Okay, I like Mexican food, I like Chinese food, I like Vietnamese food, I like Italian food. But that doesn't mean one way is any better than the other way. I just have different preferences for different types of food. I've dated different women in my life, okay, and I think they're all, I mean, beautiful women are beautiful women. That's all there is to it. I think though, I imagine I probably would be best suited for a white woman simply because I share the most in common with them. I've dated, I had this Hispanic girlfriend, and she was just hot as could be, and I mean, she's nice, as sweet as could be, and I eventually broke up with her, and I couldn't really understand why, and I realized that it was because I really liked her a whole lot, but I just couldn't see myself marrying her because of the differences that we had, because I was white and because she was Hispanic. Now, I was not saying that, I'm white, I'm better, you're Hispanic. It had nothing to do with it. It was just that, I saw there being a whole lot of cultural differences that I just didn't really want to, have to expose myself to. Not that I didn't respect other cultural differences, not that I haven't partaken in other, various activities that were particular to that culture. It didn't have anything to do with it. But somebody on the outside might say, "Oh, well, he's a racist because he thinks he's better because he's white and he didn't want to stay with her, simply because she was beautiful." Well, beauty is only skin deep. I mean, there are other reasons why we marry a particular individual or want to marry a particular individual. And I'm actually getting off the topic here. But anyway, back to what Dr. David was saying. At the end of this video, it said, stop that. Okay, wait, I talked about that. Kill Whitey, kill Cracker. Well, that right there is racist, and that is promoting hate and promoting violence. Okay, nothing that I saw in Dr. David's video did anything like that. Okay. I don't really care that at one time he was a member of the Ku Klux Klan or he associated with these people or that people. Hey, if you look back in your life, I am sure that you have dealt with somebody or that you've been friends with that other people would consider kind of shady, okay, or some of the things that you've done, okay? We're not born knowing everything. We go through life, we experience things. What is important is that you take those experiences and you learn from them, you make the best out of it, and you put yourself in the place that, I call him God, that God intended for us, where he intended us to be. Plain and simple, okay? And then once all the pieces of the puzzle are brought together, we can live in harmony with one another. Now, we look at our society, our democratic society has been, I for a long time said, oh, well, this is the right way to do things. Our educational system, our healthcare system, that's the right way to do it. Well, that is what they call ethnocentric. Okay, that's where we think that because of the way I was raised and the things that I was exposed to, that my way is the right way. Well, I'm here to tell you that that's not necessarily the case. Okay, because in many other cultures, their ways of doing things have proven to be very successful. So what we need to do is we need to learn from all these other ways of doing things and not be ethnocentric. Okay, I know throughout my lifetime, I've there have been people that I didn't like. Okay, and I've tried to be tolerant of. Now there are still people that I don't like, even though I say that I like most people. But you can't like everybody. Okay, and it's not because it shouldn't be because of their religious upbringing or their educational upbringing, where they went to school, or their background or whatever, their social economic status. It doesn't really matter, okay? Because you choose to hate, okay? People hate because and they sit there and blame it on everybody else, and then say stop the hate, stop the hate. But you need to wake up, look in the mirror, and see that dig way deep down inside your soul, and you will find that there are seeds of hate there, okay, that you have been given an opportunity in your lifetime to overcome. Plain and simple, okay? Now, our democratic society is, we think that, oh, well, it's the way that it should be. Well, really, in America, the democratic society is pretty new. um, it's really just a testing ground to see if various things work. Okay, we need to think of the world um, as a whole, and see that, okay, we want to make the planet a better place. So let's look at what works. Let's look at what does not work, and let's eliminate those things that don't work. Okay, it might even be even bigger than that. Okay, it might be on some sort of universal level, where that the Earth might be a testing ground for all we know, and it's our supreme being's way of seeing. Okay, well, let's see. We'll create all these differences in mankind, different religions, different upbringings, different social economic statuses, different ways of learning, and let's see what really happens. Okay, and so our universe might simply just be or our planet might be a testing ground for what is to become of the universe. Now, I believe in religion. I believe in the Big Bang, and what I was always taught was that there's a balance between the two. And over the years, and some people will sit there and say, well, the Catholic Church was wrong about this. Galileo had said this, and how um, the the Earth, I don't remember what it was, Earth revolved around the sun, or the sun revolved around the Earth, and then he was placed under house arrest and so forth. But when we learn and we accept when we do things wrong, we make the world a better place. Okay, we learn from our mistakes. It's plain and simple. What we need to do is set aside our egos and and uh, and learn and begin to live in harmony with one another, so that we can make this world a better place. Because otherwise, we are headed on a path to destruction. And I'm not going to give any specifics, because really all I was talking about was this video regarding um, uh, white white culture, and maintaining white culture. Okay, when somebody talks about white culture, or they talk about their particular culture, um, that's all they're doing. Okay, that they're just trying to keep the integrity of how they were raised, and what they are. Nowhere in there did I mention anything about hate, about hating some other culture, or because of the differences that we share. It just wasn't there. Okay, so when you start talking about other people hating, you need to look at yourself and see exactly where that's coming from, because a lot of times it's coming from within you, or within me. I say I'm not hating on somebody, um, but sometimes I am, because I'm unwilling to accept those differences that I have with other people. Simply accept those differences, gain a firm understanding uh, of the different types of people that are out there, and again, we can live in harmony with one another.